passed by multiple cars, as I mentioned earlier on, so Nuoff in a very precarious situation, but he often finds himself in these places. He doesn't qualify as well as he races.
Up front, they are getting with Lee Aberdeen and Luca Varani, not very far apart at all here. But I just want to see how Alistair Hay deals with Marcello Kessler coming around the old hairpin.
I would say it's not the best decision they've ever made, just not having done that under the safety car, really.
Yeah, they're taking their pit stop strategies from Ferrari lately or something. What's going on?
In turn one, just too much gas on them, too much feet on the loud pedal, and unfortunately he's dropped him all the way down the order. But Philip Hammer is out in front by an 8.91 seconds. Dan Michael is a wall there, sir. And definitely doesn't want to be hitting that earlier on as well.
Difficult, the understeer is in the dirty air through that final corner because it's such a long corner and you get dragged off into the grass very easily. He'll have the slipstream down it towards the chicane. Peterson was briefly alongside, but that slipstream has saved him and kept him in third.
Yeah, Varani now lost a little bit of time to Aberdeen, about half a second. Peterson is Pike's pushed more and forward up ahead. He's got out of line. It's now Pike going to have a go at Werrell. Don't push him off. He's in the championship fight. Jack Werrell chasing down Carl Jacklin. Further down, Rob Williams and Chris Barnes.
Sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's come back into play. Exactly. Miller's still such up. He's left on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
On to the back end of Phil Jocelyn. So there's been a lot of movers and shakers in this first 2 laps here for race.
Absolutely serious racing league. Everybody's allowed to have fun. Yeah, and it's all about the entertainment. So I hope everybody is enjoying themselves out there in the chat. We know that Ron is been enjoying himself watching. And the Burger King machine's off into the grass a little bit there. Is that really bunching up now?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Monday nights. Then it's the JPB Clio Cup of Season 5, Round 6 from Hockenheim National A Circuit. I'm James Parfitt, going to be joined in the booth by Nathan Richards here this evening as well, as we come to the short layout of Hockenheim. Let's keep you up to date with the scores on the doors. What is happening at this moment in time? Well, in the rookie series, it's Dylan DaCosta out in front by 659 points over David Clasper, with Ludovic Jure in third, then Chris Barnes, Rob Williams, Kian Palmer, Kevin Anfield, and Ewan Stitchbury rounding out the 8 there. In the team standards, it's virtual drivers by TX3 over with Dylan DaCosta and Ludovic Jure, with Team Radline, Goldwyn Motorsports, Kraken Racing, JPB Esports, Sim Stickers, Blade Designs, SRL and Photomedia.com behind that. In the overalls, it's Dylan DaCosta out in front at the moment with Sam Van Olst, John McCutcheon, David Clasper, Luke Maxwell, Ludovic Jure and Wayne Palmer. Then we've got Kian Palmer, Chris Barnes, Rob Williams, Deck Craver, Dan Lewis, Edward Parfitt, Stu Gibbons, Kevin Anfield, Paul Godden, Ewan Stitchbury and Carl Jacqueline finishing off the grid. Let's see how we get on. We can bring in Mr. Nathan Richards here this evening. Nathan, welcome in, buddy. How are you?
I am doing perfectly fine. Thank you, James. And of course, hello to everyone on the JPB channel. And back again for the Clios. And, well, it's a bit of a different track, isn't it, this circuit? I think Hockenheim, it's a bit more well-known than some of the others we've been to this season. So maybe here tonight, the Clio drivers might be a little bit more in tune with this circuit. And we could see some closer racing. Of course, we've seen some very close racing and qualifying, but I think around a bit more of a familiar track here, James, we could see it even being closer than normal.
Yeah, we could do it. It is a short circuit as well. We've come off the official one this week, which was literally the baby circuit. So you go down turn 1 and then you turn right halfway down, then you come back round and then you rejoin 10 and then you go 11, 12, 13, 14. We've come out of that format to go with this slightly longer format here this evening. There was a little bit of a confusion whether or not we should have changed to that one, whether or not we should have stayed as we are, but we decided to stay as we are and we're on this format. Bit light on the grid this week as well. I know there's a few away. I know we've lost, unfortunately, Paul Godden as well due to work commitments. So there's been a lot going on in the background there as well. Nathan, I don't think that generally takes away from the racing. So, you know, the lower fields sometimes have been providing the better racing.
Yeah, definitely. I think that is definitely something we've seen this season, and I think the reason sometimes we don't see much at the front is the ones who lead tend to be clear of the field by quite a decent margin. You know, Dylan DaCosta and Luke Maxwell being two of those who, once they get into the lead, they can fly away and just get on with their race. But I think, yeah, the lower part of the grid definitely brings a lot of action because some of them as well don't tend to do so well in qualifying, so they're also trying to work their way up on the grid and get themselves some better positions. We get to the reverse grids where those who do well have to yet again work their way through. So you do get a bit jumbled up with who's in what position, and it does create some really good racing. But looking as well at the consistency, Sam Van Ol's currently in second in the championship, and he's not been a driver that has been really, really quick all season. He's had his, a win, he's had a couple of podiums, but it's just all about that consistency and being in that top 5, top 6 all the way through.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's one of the things that can make it for people. You don't necessarily have to win a championship to win every single race. You know, I saw it recently in FTR. They had 4 rounds of racing, and the guy that won the MX-5 won by 1 point, and he never won a race all season. Never won a class race all season. And yet he still goes and takes the win in the championship. So it just goes to show you don't have to be at the front winning every single race necessarily to get a championship. And as I say, at some points you don't even have to win a race to get a championship.
Definitely, and I think sometimes it does take a bit away from the glory of not winning a race, but also you can flex on the fact you didn't win a race, but you won overall, which I think just shows that level of consistency. But we can see the first qualifying times heading up onto the board, and it's currently Team Radline who sit first and second with John McCutcheon and of course Luke Maxwell, who I believe missed out last week, hence why he's dropped a little bit further down in the standings. And now David Clasper coming out a bit of nowhere, a bit of an underdog, moving himself up into 4th there, James. So he's doing a brilliant job in his car, and hopefully we can see him near the top once again.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Obviously, last week there wasn't a broadcast out Winter Raceway. It was the first time this season that Dylan DaCosta has taken all 3 races, hence his boost up the championship position into where he is at the moment. Obviously, sitting in first in the rookies and first overall. So for him, it was a good week last week. Unfortunately, there just was some issues that I had to deal with and just couldn't quite make it there as well. But I think going forward, you know, they've got 5 minutes to go. We've got this Hockenheim Hockenheim National circuit, I think it could be some great racing from these little Clios. So I'm expecting something amazing. Good evening, Phil. Good evening, DGR. Chris Evans, welcome in as well. LM Sim Racing, hello. Welcome in to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget, like, subscribe, turn on the bells, and do all that other fancy jazz, as this week's videos have gone up, and as you can see, there is lots of everything going on this week, so make sure you stay tuned for that one. I think this circuit itself, though, traditionally a well-known circuit on the longer layout, not everybody uses the shorter one.
Yeah, it's a bit different, isn't it? But I like it, to be fair. I do like the long layout, but as we've seen the cars going through on these couple of laps, I think we could get some really good racing. The corners are quite open. There's not many really tight corners, meaning that you can see some really good sends and people going side by side through some of the left and right-handers. As we can see, Dylan Da Costa go to the top of the timings there with a 1:38.501, and the time's looking very close there. The whole field down to P7, separated by just over a second, and then down to Chris Barnes, separated by just under 2 seconds. So yet again, James, we're seeing every race, the grid tends to get a little bit closer, especially in qualifying. If you remember back in round one, it was, Dylan Da Costa, Luke Maxwell clear in quali. But as the rains have got on, everyone's kind of caught up to them, haven't they? It's kind of been a bit limited in terms of their pushing forward.
Yeah, exactly, and I think that's the thing. This is why we obviously got rid of the Pro and Ams this season as well, and we're following the officials, and we've changed over to a fixed setup, is because everybody has been so close. There wasn't really a need for a Pro and Am. It was just basically a free-for-all and everybody going for everything. So I think overall we'll start looking at seeing what this format can work. Are we going to look at doing it again next season? Well, there's an announcement in the Discord. Get yourselves involved as well on that one about what leagues we will be looking at doing. At the moment, an IndyCar league is basically out in front with the GT3s on Wednesday. So if you want to have a see and see what leagues we've got coming up, or what leagues we do next, get your vote in within the JPB Discord. All links down in the description below as well. 3 minutes to go. Dylan Da Costa, John McCutcheon, Luke Maxwell, Ludovic Jure. It's a virtual driver's sandwich with a team Radline filling in the middle there at the moment, Nathan.
Of course, and Sam Vanholt's definitely a little bit further down than I thought he would have been on pace. He's currently just under a second off, 9/10 off the fastest time. That is generally quite surprising. We normally see him within half a second or even quicker than that compared to the top guys. So hopefully he can try and muss his way up a little bit higher once he gets a little bit more in tune to the circuit. Of course, not all the drivers have time to practice every day. Vanholt's might be one of those that in previous weeks he could practice a lot, and today maybe hasn't had the chance to do so, or might just not be too adjusted with the track as it is, of course. I think this season the tracks we've gone to, they're all variously different, aren't they? So I think that is a good thing, because we can also see who's consistent no matter what track we go to.
Yeah, exactly, and I think that's the thing. We made the change early to swap over to go into the kind of the official calendar. There was a couple of tracks we changed. We didn't quite the layout, and this is the one that we've changed onto. Is Ricky Bobby Williams on track? He's not on. He is out on track at the moment. There he is, and it's cracking racing. He's admin for it, Chris, and he does come to me pretty much most days after the race and go, God, I hate this car. But yeah, he still turns up every single week, so I don't know with Rob Williams, to be honest, on that one. I think he's just sandbagging a little bit. I think he secretly does like it there as well. It's a great little car. Just unfortunately, he's getting low on the numbers for the season, so we'll make a decision going forward on that one. Last minute here, Nate, as well. Dylan Da Costa out in front. Maxwell McCutcheon into the pits.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see much will happen now between those at the top. We might see some of those in the mid pack maybe make a bit of an improvement, but I think those in the top three are pretty much secured where they are, and it's not that far away, is it, between Da Costa and Hutchison? They're just under a tenth of a second, and then just over a tenth of a second between the two Team Radline teammates. So yet again, the top three looking very close on pace, and then Ludovic Jure a little bit further back there in P4, followed by Kevin Anfield in the top five, who's also doing a decent, consistent job here in this season. I believe last round. He got 2 podiums in the first and second race.
Yeah, Kevin's come late into the season, the Australian. He gets up, well, I don't even want to imagine what time he gets up. It's stupidly early. They're about, where are they at the moment? They've got to be about 12 hours in front of us, give or take, because they've just had daylight saving as well. So if you do the math on that one, it should be round about 8 o'clock in the morning. Then I think he goes off to work after. So that is at the end of quali. Let's bring you up the grid for race 1. Dylan DaCosta in first with John McCutcheon, Luke Maxwell, the 1, 2, 3. Then Ludovic Jure, Kevin Anfield, Sam Verhulst, David Clasper, Edward Parfitt, Chris Barnes and Rob Williams. Rounding out this 10-car grid. Bit short on numbers, but I'm sure it will be okay. The racing will still be just as good as it normally is. The fibre optic is coming, Edward Parfitt. Don't worry. So there we go.
Still, yet again, 6th round in a row, and he's still blipping on the starting grid. But once he gets in, he seems to go fine. So I'm not sure what that is there, because you'd think he'd be blipping all the way through. But once we get in, he seems to be quite comfortable, and the car doesn't seem to lag too much. But I've noticed as well on the grid so far, we've got teammates very close together, which definitely could play into the hands of others. Of course, the 2 red lines in 2nd and 3rd, the virtual drivers by TX3 sitting 1st and 4th, and also the Kraken Racing's unfortunately together, but they are down, unfortunately down in 9th and 10th at the back of the field. So we'll see what the different teammates can do to try and work their way through, or keep the positions they've already got. Yeah,
we'll have to see how they get on. I think we're just waiting for John McHutchison and Sam Verhulst, who are traditionally late there. They do like traditionally to get on as late as physically possible, pretty much most grids as well. So thank you very much, Mr. Verhulst, as we sit here waiting patiently for you to go and do whatever you are doing currently. And then we'll be able to get this going and up and running here and get this 6th round going once more. And we'll see what happens with these 3 races this evening. There we go, Sam Verhulst is onto the grid. The lights should be coming on very, very shortly. There they are. We're going to have 1, then 2, then 3, 4, 5. And we are up and running, and green. Dylan DaCosta takes the green flag away from Barney and is on that run down into turn 1 here. But it is a great start from Dylan with John McCutcheon, Luke Maxwell, Ludovic Jure behind that. All 10 cars got away cleanly. Clasper's in the mix as well. He's trying to make it 3 wide as they go running down into turn number 2. It is 3 wide with Sam Verhulst, Kevin Anfield on the outside. David Clasper's in there as well. Going 3 wide again out of turn 4. Slight little shoulder barge there from Kevin Anfield. Clasper does manage to survive another day. I thought that was all going to go wrong early on there, Nave.
It looked like it, didn't it? It definitely could have gone worse than it did, and we can see there Mr. Edward Parfitt as well, just sitting behind, looking to try and find a way through. Bit of a lock up there from Luke Maxwell that allows Ludovic Jure to try and make his way through. Goes side by side as they head down towards turn number 8 at Mercedes corner, and then of course down towards turn number 9. And Maxwell just for now keeps his position, but goes deep. That allows Ludovic Jure to get a decent run as they head their way into the right-hander, still side by side between the 2. And we'll see what happens as they head down towards turn number 10 here. A bit of a longer right-hander, and Ludovic Jure has got the move done now and slots himself into 3rd, and Clasper got himself back into P5 ahead of Kevin Anfield.
Yeah, we've got literally virtual drivers, Team Redline, virtual drivers, Team Redline, and Kevin Anfield there with David Clasper in the mix, Sam Verhulst as well. The cars still very close together. It looks like Edwards lost that place to Chris Barnes, and Barnes, he's got through on Edward. Edwards got the inside, bounces the curb, he pulls it in tight, gives Barnes room on the outside. Now they're side by side going down into turn 1. This is going to be a very interesting battle here. We've got battles further on with Maxwell as well, but it is Kraken Racing and Chris Barnes. He's going to make it through on turn 1. He's not. They're still side by side and have been for half a lap as they start going racing down into turn 2 now. Edward, Chris Barnes, Rob Williams almost 3 wide. Williams pushing Edward. You're supposed to push your teammate, and Edward does manage to hold on, but he's got all a little bit wrong there. Barnes, he's tried to cut back. Williams is coming back at him as well. This is just full ball racing, and these are the bottom 3.
It is brilliant racing between 8th, 9th and 10th on the grid, and still Parfitt trying to defend the position as Chris Barnes, I think for now, does get himself up into P8, and then we can see Rob Williams there looking to try and make a send here. Bit of defence from Barnes. But that was close contact indeed between Parfitt and Williams. Must have been a few centimetres there, separating the front and the rear of the two cars. Brilliant racing so far here as they head their way now in towards the next left-hander. Parfitt gets a good run on Barnes, has to go to the outside. Can't quite find the move there. Brilliant defence from the cracking racing driver. And then we can see at the front once again, Maxwell still trying to find his way past Jurain. Because of all their battling, that has allowed McCutcheon and Da Costa to gap them there by just over a second.
Yeah, it has, but these three at the back still providing great racing. But Barnes has managed to clear Parfitt now. He's got Williams behind him. Ludovic Jure has opened up a bit of a gap to Maxwell, who's got Kevin Anfield pushing up behind him as well. So Anfield's on a bit of a mission, wants that top 4 spot away from Luke Maxwell. But the guys at the back are still fighting it out. Chris Barnes, there he is. There's Edward Parfitt in the yellow and blue of JPB Esports, and the Cracket Racing red and yellow behind is Mr. Rob Williams. Through turn 1, once again, they're going to have to be careful. The off-tracks do count round turn 1 as well, Nave. And the last thing they want to do is rack up that 17.
Yeah, that is the last thing you want to do indeed. As soon as you start getting penalties and, of course, your 17s and count, it's the last thing you want to do, because then it also lowers your confidence, knowing that you're in a bit of a sticky situation and you've got to be a bit more careful in order to not to get those repercussions. As we can see here, Kevin Anfield still looking to close in on the rear of Luke Maxwell, and Maxwell surprisingly not too up on the pace today. You can see already dropped a second from Ludovic Jure, so I'm not sure if those two made contact earlier on, and Ludovic Jure looking to close in to the rear of John McHutchison, who's in second, and Clasper also under pressure here from Sam Van Olst, who is still second in the championship, about 70 points clear to John McHutchison, so he will be looking to try and work his way a little bit further up the field to eliminate or stop that gap from coming down, stopping McHutchison from getting himself onto that second place in the standings.
Yeah, you can see Sam Van Olst's got a run now on the run through mobile curb 1 coming into the left hander. That door's going to close. You've relied on Clasper giving you room. They're going to come out side by side. Sam Van Olst and David Clasper through turns 12, in through 13. Clasper manages to hold on. Edwards still fighting out with Chris Barnes further back, but Clasper did manage to hold on from Sam Van Olst, and Sam Van Olst was coming, and he was coming very quickly there, Dave, and managed to avoid them all.
Yeah, of course, and it was brilliant to see between those two some brilliant racing. Well, there wasn't much racing room left, but they knew how much to leave, which is brilliant to see, and lots of respect between those two on the circuit, as Clasper still looking to defend that P6 position after starting 5th, now down to P6, and Van Olst still looking to apply some pressure, as we can see further back as well. Edward Parfitt there gaining in on on Chris Barnes, sorry, as we can see a move now happening, as it will be Clasper to the outside, and we can see further back. We don't know where to look, do we, James? There's moves happening everywhere on the field.
Yeah, Sam Van Olst is on the right-hand side there. You can see him now just peeking in to the right-hand side of your screen. He's going to have that inside line. I'm trying to keep an eye on the Barnes battle at the further back. Big puff of smoke from Kevin Anfield there in front of us. Unfortunately, it looks like Kevin's got that all a little bit wrong. Then Sam Van Olst is going to go again in through Mercedes, the left-hander, sorry, as I promise I do know my left from my rights, as he's now going through the right-hander again. Anfield with Van Olst, with David Clasper, still continually fight on that run up into turn 10. Clasper's looking up the inside of Anfield, not going to be able to make it this time around. Anfield does manage to hold on, and Van Olst is tucked in right there as well. 3 car fights. We've got this one, then we've got the front leaders who are slowly coming back together, and then we got the bottom 3 coming back, having a good old scrap further back. You're just seeing your background of the Cracket Racing JPB and Cracket Racing boys. Great action so far, and we've still got another 14 minutes to go.
Yeah, brilliant racing at the moment between all these drivers on the grid, as we can see Clasper now looking to try and make a move ahead of, that will be Kevin Anfield, who must have made a mistake because he was brought on the rear of Maxwell, then dropped to about being doing 2.5 seconds back from Luke Maxwell there. So a big mistake happened by Kevin Anfield, and now that allows Clasper to try and close him and make a move for P6, as we can see yet again further back. Chris Barnes under more pressure from Edward Parfitt, who looks to get very close as they head down into the braking zone at turn number 2. We'll see if any contacts or any moves that happen between those guys, so they'll head their way through, and Clasper still on the pressure on the back of Kevin Anfield, and Anfield, even though got overtaken quite easily by Sam Van Olst, is still sticking with him very nicely, as we can see now. Luke Maxwell putting on the pressure on the rear of Ludovic Jure, looking to get himself back into 3rd.
Yeah, absolutely. Still trying to put himself there as well. Maxwell has closed the door down to about 4 tenths. There he is. He's got it in himself, but back under composure again has Maxwell chasing down on Ludovic Jure. Can he get the move done at all? McCutcheon's closing in on Costa. He's got it down to about, well, below half a second now. So we've got the front 2, the second 2, then the next 3, and then the following 3. Still fighting it out as well, all the way through this race circuit. So there's battles becoming up front, there's battles in the middle, and there's battles further back. You can see them all together there. Edward looks like he's just made a bit of a mistake, and unfortunately that's going to allow Rob Williams. Oh, Williams got his elbows out, made that inside work, and Williams was very forceful there.
Well, it seems like he also got his shoulders out, didn't he, at that final corner there? Really pushed Edward a little bit wider, of course, onto the gravel. You lose a lot of momentum, and now Parfitt down to P10, unfortunately. But the good thing is, he will start on pole. But then again, every time we started on pole this season, hasn't he had some sort of issue at the start line?
Yes. He has, yes. He'll be all right.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Hopefully he'll be all right this week. I say that in a very loose term. I have no idea what's going on. I just know where he is in the house. I don't know what's going on in his head at that moment in time, of course. But Maxwell with Jure. McCutcheon's there losing a little bit more time to DeCosta. And then we've got Sam Van Olst, who's here with David Clasper and Kevin Anfield as these guys continue to fight. Edwards closed back up onto the back end of Mr. Williams. So he's scrapping it out further down and trying to move his way forward. It's amazing that we've got quite a low grid, but yet we've got so many battles going on all at the same time. It makes it very difficult to know where to point the camera.
It does, and I think, from all the races we've seen this season, this one is probably one of my favourites so far. And we've got probably the least amount of drivers on the grid, which is, I suppose, brilliant in some aspects, but also it's not great to see, a lower grid, of course, on in this championship. As we can see, Maxwell putting some pressure on the rear of Jure once again as they head their way through the final corner down towards turn number 1 at the Nord curve, and we could see Maxwell try and strike in the next couple of laps. This is the closest he's been in a long time here in this race. Just heading over the halfway mark now, 10 minutes to go in this race, and it's still Dylan DaCosta who leads by a second to John McCutcheon, and then third is Ludovic Jure under pressure from Luke Maxwell.
Yeah, here is the Maxwell-Jure battle. You can see now as they go off round turn 2, still continuing the fight. There's going to be a draft coming in for Maxwell very, very shortly. Is he going to be able to make it up there, though? That's the problem. The draft isn't like they're in open wheelers, guys. It is effective, but it's not massively effective. They're going down. They haven't got quite the long parabolica sweep, have they? So they don't have a lot of time for the draft here today.
Definitely not, though. And these cars, they're a bit twitchy, aren't they? So you can't always really follow that well in behind them. And of course, the corners also being quite tight. If you get, if you get sucked under the draft into a corner, it can also unsettle the car heavily and cause a little bit of understeer, as you can get all that dirty air on your car. As we can see, Maxwell once again on the rear of Jure as they head their way down towards turn number 10 at the Mobile 1 curve, just heading it round to the right and then back, of course, in towards the braking zone at turn number 11. And Maxwell closing in there. I think McCutcheon there just touched a bit of grass as they headed their way down into that braking zone. I saw a bit of it fly off the curb of the circuit. As we can see Clasper there arguing with Van Olst for P6 as they head their way through turn number 11. So I'm not sure what's happening between those guys, as we can see them go side by side in towards turn number 12. And you can see there Van Olst defended from Clasper. Clasper tries to take it the long way around but can't do anything there, so maybe he can try and get a run down towards turn 1.
Yeah, that's just going to be his best opportunity. I think Ludovic Jure has got Luke Maxwell. There you go, you've just seen him at the base of your screen going down into turn 1. Maxwell's tucked up right behind. Clasper's not going to leave Van Olst alone, and Edward has cleared Mr. Williams finally on that one. They did pass each other about 4 times, mind you, before the eventual overtake did happen. As you can see, Edward runs it in deep into turn 2, gets the job done. Williams gets it all a little bit wrong and unfortunately loses that place, so a great move from them. Maxwell, however, is seeing the green and black, or grey I should say, of the virtual drivers by TX3 as he just goes through at turn 6 and 7 as they're on their run down into 8.
Of course, here we can see Jure on the outside looking to try and get a bit of a switch back on Maxwell as they head in, but can't do so there. Back to the inside as they head through in towards turn number 8 at the right-hander. Can he find his way through? He can't. He has to switch back once again to the inside. Goes Ludovic Jure into turn 10, the right-hander. He's in the best position now to defend that P3 as they head now into the corner. Maxwell on the outside trying to defend it still. Bit of contact. Maxwell still up the inside in towards the braking zone at the next corner. Can we see a move?
He is. He's going to send it up there as well. Maxwell's going to hold on. You saw as soon as Jure come through that corner and jeopardised his exit, Maxwell only had one thing in mind, and that was just to get it back up at the inside into turn 11. Jure had no chance. Maxwell was coming regardless on that one, because as soon as he saw Jure slow up, Maxwell just hit that throttle and went straight on the inside. So great job from them guys. They're continuing fight. Sam Van Holst and David Clasper are in the background. Then we've got Rob Williams and Edward Parfitt and Chris Barnes still together further back here, as these guys are continually fighting it out all the way through this grid at the moment. Does it look like Ludovic Jure's lost a lot of time? He must have made a mistake over Luke Maxwell, because he's now 1.5 seconds back.
Yeah, big mistake must have been made there by Ludovic Jure, who now drops down to being just over a second back. And luckily, though, for him, still 4 seconds ahead of Kevin Anfield, as we can see yet again another move being made by Parfitt ahead of Williams. These two still getting close to contact, still having some brilliant racing as they head their way through in towards the breakers on at turn number 6. And we could see yet again a bit of a lunge here from Rob Williams if he can try and pull himself to the inside. I don't think he's close enough, though, as they head their way down. And for the first time in this race, James, it is seeming to calm down a little bit more.
Yeah, it is. That errors are coming into the last 5 minutes. The guys are settling in a little bit. I think you can safely say this first 15 minutes has absolutely flown by and has been absolutely manic. I dread to think what's going to happen here. I've got Edward Parfitt, my son, and I got Rob Williams, one of my mates, scrapping out on the racetrack. Please don't come together, otherwise I'm not playing piggy in the middle. You two can go at it yourselves. Oh no, that one is coming down. Mate, that's going to be the worst possible position for me, isn't it? Stuck in the middle between my mate and my boy.
and you're going to defend one of them, and if you don't defend each other, you got both of them having a go at you then. So yeah, you're in the worst position there, James. So maybe just stay on to the commentating, you lot to the racing, that's it. I'm not getting involved.
Yeah, I'm staying well out of the way. Nothing to do with me whatsoever. If you two scrap it out and take each other out, you can ring each other up and go for it. Rob used to be my old neighbour, and he was the one who got me into iRacing, funny enough. But these two now are still fighting out down the back of the field. Everybody else is a little bit more spread out. You can see the intervals there on the left-hand side. The gainers are losers so far. Well, Edward's down 2, and down 1. Now Barnes is up 1. They're the only movers in the whole field at the moment of swapping positions, and there's 21 seconds between them and the leader. So they're still going at it further down. They're now starting to get a little bit more spread out as come into the last final 4 minutes. Dylan DaCosta's just looked a little bit of a machine. He's got away and he's done a great job.
He has, yeah, again, he's done a really, really good job, of course, taking 2 wins in the second place last time out at Winton Raceway. Now looking to get himself another victory here in the first race of round number 6. So looking to try and extend that championship gap. It is around 60-ish points to Sam Van Holst, and then around 120 to John McHutchison in third. So looking yet again to extend that gap by even more. And Van Holst definitely not in the best position, of course, in 6th at the moment. Isn't really going to fight for anything higher, as he's got a 2-second gap to Kevin Anfield. What I suppose the good thing is he can start from P4 in the next race and have to try and work his way through Clasper, Barnes, Parfitt and Williams. And with Barnes, Parfitt and Williams being 1, 2 and 3, that could make it very, very interesting, couldn't it, going into this next round?
Can you imagine the spiciness up front there with them 3? They've been going at it, they've been fighting us all the way at the back of the field, let alone what they're going to be at the front. I tried to think what's going to happen, but then at the Costa with 3 minutes on the clock, we're going to have 1 and 1 more, I would have thought, as we're on a 1:38, maths, James, yeah, 1, and then we should have the final lap. here at Great Racing, and they're still, look at them, they're not leaving each other alone at the back end of these fields. These two are still just going at it over and over and over again, and they're swapped. I dread to think how many times they've swapped positions, because at one point they swapped positions 6 times within the space of about 15 seconds. So God knows what was going on.
Yeah, brilliant battling though, isn't it? And they've still made it through in one piece. They might be a little bit further back from the leaders, but they've had a brilliant battle. They know they're not going to fight for much more, so just fight it out and have a nice battle, technically for pole position, as they head their way through in towards these next couple of corners. And still it is Parfitt ahead of Williams as they head their way round. And you can see there a little bit deep from Edward Parfitt allows Rob to get a decent run, but just can't quite capitalise as they head their way through towards shortly towards turn number 10. And the gaps at the front still looking to extend a little bit more, and Da Costa still got a very big lead over John McCutcheon. That gap now nearly 2 seconds as they head through on towards, this should be, is it the penultimate lap or the final?
No, they've just got it. There's going to be one and one more. They've just got it by literally a few seconds, I think. So, yeah, they're still going to scrap it out. So these two could just keep going at it for another couple of laps as they're continuing to fight here at the back, Rob Williams and Edward Parfitt. I've got to be honest, I mean, this is one of the best battles we've seen all season, and they're at the back of the field.
Yeah, it's been brilliant, hasn't it? Been absolutely brilliant. And it just shows, well, you haven't got to be, one of the drivers on ultimate pace to perform and have the best battling on the circuit, because this has been absolutely superb between these two. And of course, earlier on between those two and Chris Barnes. And they've been battling literally for the last 18 minutes constantly, which is brilliant to see. I know by then I'll be a bit fed up of it, and I'll be a little bit annoyed knowing I can't make a move, or I know I'm stuck, behind and trying to get through. So brilliant from those guys to keep battling all the way through this race, all the way to the end.
Yeah, and they've still got one and one more to go. It depends if Da Costa slows down. He had about, I'm not saying he's going to really want to slow down, about 5 seconds, but I think it was give or take about 5 seconds before they would have seen the checkered flag. We'll keep an eye on him. He's coming in through mobile curb 1, turn 10 at the moment, going into the hairpin at 11. They've got 30 seconds from here, so it might be a little bit closer than we think. Edwards unfortunately just disappearing there on Rob Williams as the internet gets a little bit sketchy, but Dylan Da Costa is going to come over the line. How much longer is he going to have on the clock? He's going to have 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54. Yeah, 5 seconds. Basically, that's all they managed to get with one more lap in, was that 5 second mark. So, yeah, if he just slowed down a little bit, he would have made it the final lap.
Yeah. But I think the last thing he wanted to do was slow down, because he would have brought all those closer to him, and that gap they would have really shrunk down, and probably, due to his lunkiness, would end up losing the positions. As we can see, this will be Rob Williams and Parfitt once more, and Parfitt doing the disappearing act for us as he heads through into the final corner.
It did say they swapped places, but I think that was more the fact that Edward may have just had a disappearing moment. So there we go, and it picked him up that he was in front of Mr. Williams. This is going to be such an interesting race too. These three at the front of the field. Williams pole, Parfitt's going to be second, Barnes will be third, and then Clasper and Vanols. Surely Vanols has got to look at this one, has got to try and get the win, hasn't he? Because of how many places he's lost during this first race.
Yeah, definitely. He's definitely going to be looking for a podium or a win in the next round. It's been, probably one of his worst performances sitting in P6, which isn't really something you can say too often about a driver. Being down in P6 is a poor performance, but definitely it has been for Van Alst, and for what normally his skill can produce. As we can see, Maxwell actually looking to gain in a little bit to his teammate. That gap looking to increase, but nothing much more can happen. As we are on the final lap, of course, as we can see Williams and Parfitt yet again swapping around. As we can see, Da Costa come through the final corner.
Well, yeah, I want to look at Da Costa coming over the line, but I really want to kind of go back to find out what's going on there. Da Costa, Maxwell, McCutcheon have finished off. This is what's happening here still as these guys continue to fight. Round turn 11, and they're still going at each other. Williams on the inside, that's not really helping here either. Mr. Williams doesn't really know where to go. He's going to try the outside line. Is he going to try and get the cutback? He's got some speed. He had some speed. He tried it as well, and unfortunately didn't make it work. But yeah, very interesting there from them two. And the fact that they're going to be on the front row of the next race, this is going to make it even more exciting as Dylan DaCosta takes the victory. John McCutcheon, Luke Maxwell, Ludovic Jure, Kevin Anfield, Sam Van Ols, David Clasper, Chris Barnes, Edward Parfitt and Rob Williams finishing towards the back end. Now we go into the grid for race number 2. They will have a bit of time for a brief little warm-up. Rob Williams will be on pole, Edward Parfitt next to him, then Chris Barnes, David Clasper, Sam Van Ols, Kevin Anfield, Ludovic Jure, Luke Maxwell, John McCutcheon and Dylan DaCosta. Going to be interesting to see some of the faster cars get through on these guys up the front, because if they're battling, how are they going to get through?
Well, Jure and below, they've got to think about it tactically, haven't they? They've got to know that those in the lead will be battling quite hard, so just sit back, don't really force a move, just wait for the moves to happen, because generally they are quicker. So if they just sit back and wait for a move, that move will eventually come to them. And once they battle, sometimes someone goes a little bit wide here, someone goes a little bit wide there. That should also pave a way for some of the faster cars to make their way through. But it will be interesting to see what happens between Williams and Parfitt at the front. Of course, Chris Barnes as well looked quicker than the two he pulled away. He's got to get through on them. So we'll see what he can do to try and take the lead. And then you think as well, with Williams being Chris Barnes' teammate, does Williams try to hold everyone up to help Chris Barnes have a lead? So many things can happen here in this race. And of course, Clasper and Van Ols looking to yet again get some very good points in this second race. So those two will also be quite aggressive. So it could be a very, very interesting second race. Obviously, 20 minutes for this race as well. Of course, with the top 10 reversed. Well, I suppose we'll see what happens very shortly.
Yeah, I think anything can happen there. As I think between them, it's going to be very, very exciting. I just think them three at the front, if they get locked up and battling out with each other, God knows how anybody's going to get through. They pass positions so many times. I wouldn't even like to think how anybody else is going to get through them on that one. That was just absolutely incredible racing. So there we go. But yeah, let's go into race 2. They've still got a bit of time, about 3 minutes remaining before they got to grid up. But yeah. Can't wait for this. I just want to see how the front three get on here now.
Yeah, it'll be fun, won't it? And I think we're going to have either a very boring start or the best start ever. It's going to be one of the two. It's not going to be in the middle. It's going to be one extreme or the other extreme. And of course, the likes of Parfitt and Williams probably enjoy a little bit of a break. They can calm down, get ready to go once again and think about what they're going to do to try and get past each other. So they're very happy about the break. Those at the back, probably not too so happy because they was in a rhythm at the front, and now they're going to have to break the rhythm and get going again, and this time make it through on cars who are a little bit slower ahead of them. So DaCosta, McCutcheon, Maxwell might not be the easiest race for these to get through because of all the battling we've seen with those in the midfield. Obviously, I think Anfield, Van Ols and Clasper had a battle, Barnes, Parfitt, Williams had a battle, so all those 7th below have got to get through 2-3 car battles pretty much here.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I've just messaged Rob, and I said, mate, that was a great race. He said, dude, it was awesome. So there we go. For a man that doesn't even like the Renault Clios, he said race 1 was absolutely awesome. Good evening, Mr. Paul LeMay. Thank you so much for joining us there as well. Paul getting ready for his truck debut tomorrow night in the 772 Brothers racing machine, I'm sure. Getting out on track, getting all the practice in, ready to go. We're going to have 33 trucks on track tomorrow night for Kansas Speedway. So come and check that one out here as well, because that's going to be absolutely insane. 33 trucks is going to be just amazing. So check out that was one. Don't forget, guys, we've got the Community Cup still kicking off this Saturday as well. There's still spaces available if you want to get yourselves in a NASCAR 50% race. We did do 100%, but then we dropped it down to 50. And since then, we've had more and more people sign up. So get yourselves involved in that one. Head over to www.jpbroadcasting.com/league racing. And then click on the NASCAR Community Cup and come and do some NASCAR racing on a Saturday night. So, yeah, looking forward to it. I bet you are, Mr. LeMay. I bet you are. I don't know if they're looking forward to Bristol Dirt, though, in a truck. I've got to be honest, Nave.
Don't know much about the dirt tracks, but all I know is that they do deliver chaos. I've driven them before, and let's just say I wasn't the cleanest driver.
Yeah. Well, you're around 33 others, though.
It's about 10, so it makes it even look even worse, doesn't it?
That brings out a skill issue. No, that brings out a skill issue. I've got a funny feeling on that one. But yeah, they've got 33. The lights are going to be coming on now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we are green, green, green. Mr. Williams does get it off the line. Edward closes up. He's trying to close the door on Chris Barnes. He does leave him just enough room there as well. He gave him a squeeze a little bit, but he did give him just enough room as David Clasper's trying to come through. Sam Van Olst is there as well. Chris Barnes, Clasper blocking the road.
Oh,
Van Olst. Oh no, Dylan DaCosta. DaCosta's in the wall.
Yep, contact there. I believe it was with McHutchison there, I think.
Yeah, it depends if he gave him, depends whether, oh, they're having, they all looked a little bit, yeah, it looked a little bit twitchy there, didn't it, with Dylan DaCosta and John McHutchinson. Luke Maxwell blocks him off. DaCosta's coming through, trying to muscle in on McHutchinson. Gives McHutchinson a little bit of the elbow, and then it all, unfortunately, goes a little bit wrong. Should he have been coming for a gap that was not really there? Oh, Chris Barnes and David Clasper make contact as well. Ludovic Jure, Kevin Anfield's in that. John McHutchinson has managed to avoid it. So McHutchison and Maxwell managed to avoid that one. Chris Barnes doing a great little roadblock here as these guys start moving forward. Williams and Parfitt opening up 8 attempts. Sam Van Olst, you're too close. Oh, how did he hold that?
I don't know. That I thought he was going around then, and he makes a bit of a send on Barnes. Jure looking to try and make a fight as well. He taps the back of Van Olst, and then we got Maxwell as well looking to find a way through. They're all looking to battle through and make positions, and none of them can make them as they're all defending so well. As that's a big side there from Chris Barnes. Bit of a drift through in towards the penultimate corner, and now we can see Van Olst, Jure, Maxwell all looking to get in and make some moves to get themselves back up to and get back through those positions to get themselves onto a podium. As we can see, Van Olst to the outside gets a move done in towards turn 1.
Yeah, it does. He's through on Chris Barnes. He's now going to set up that Edward Parfitt, and Ludovic Jure is also not going to give this up either. So these guys continue to fight it out. Jure goes through. You can see DaCosta trying to play catch up in the back. These guys battling it out. 2 minutes 12 on the clock already, and you literally think these guys were fighting on the final lap here, Nate, because they've been at it hammer and tong.
Yeah, it's been brilliant, hasn't it, so far between these guys. We can see Maxwell and Barnes looking to make moves as they head to the next right-hander. Maxwell breaks later and gets that position done, and now looking to close in on the back of Jure for P4 as they all head their way through. Of course, DaCosta at the back of the field. I'm not sure if he's still racing at the moment, but he will be. No, he's there right at the back, all trying to catch up and get back into that train for the top nimers. We can see Parfitt now defending here from Van Olst. So it was Chris Barnes, and now it's James, not James, it's Edward Parfitt defending. I don't think you do as good a job, would you, James? Ooh. Yep, they're headed to turn 1, and oh, what happened there? Oh, no, he's gone. Oh, he's here. There he is, back into P2. He was jumping around a bit yet again, and now we can see Van Olst, Jure, Maxwell looking to make it 3-1 into turn 2. Nearly, oh, and a bit of a lock-up started there from Parfitt. Gets collected by Van Olst, goes wide, and it's now going to be Maxwell into second, ahead of Jure, ahead of Van Olst and McHutchison as well, looking to make a move around the outside, and still, they're all going at it, and well, a few show points there, I think, for Parfitt, as it wasn't intended to work well, but in the end, it did, I suppose. He got sapped, I think, didn't he? Oh. He caught it, though. They are, even more than last time, and that was hard to beat, that is for sure. As we can see, still Rob Williams who leads with a 2-second gap to Luke Maxwell in second and Ludovic Jure in third. Van Olst arguing with Hutchison and Clasper as well, looking to get involved with that battle for P3. And then Edward Parfitt's a little bit further back now with Chris Barnes behind Kevin Anfield, and Dylan DaCosta has caught up to the field now, even though he had all that, that big incident earlier on. He's got himself recovered, and all that battling has led him to get himself back into it and maybe make a few more positions.
Well, if he can, that's going to be the interesting thing. We're going to find out and see here as they continually fight. Edward's got Chris Barnes for company now as well. They're running side by side. Edward's going to lose that position to Barnes. DaCosta's got Kevin Anfield. Can he now hold on to that position away from Dylan DaCosta further back? Anfield's now at the back end of the field. He's got to try and make his way through as well as they're continually fight it out on that run down the Parabolica into turn 6 here. DaCosta's going to look at trying to come from a long way back. Dude, where are you going? That was a 10.5 there, and I think, yeah, 10.5.
He made his statement clear, didn't he? He said he was going to get through, and he did get through. As now we can see Parfitt arguing with Anfield, and I think that battle has concluded just for now. As we can see, Costa try and close in on the rear of Chris Barnes to get himself up into P7, and of course McHutchison on the back of Van Olst as well. That gap very close as they get close to contact down towards the next couple of corners, and we can see a move there by McHutchison down to P4. A couple of positions away from his teammate, but Van Olst has still got the outside run as they head down in toward the braking zone, and it looks like a little bit of damage there on the front of Van Olst's car.
Yeah, I think that was when they were all sort of bumping and pushing each other around there. Be careful, he's got the outside line. He can quite happily come round that John McHutchison there as well. Room 4K, rip, the contact is unreal. Yes, it is. No sound from James. Really? Oh, it's back. Oh, all right. I don't know what's going on there, but apparently I'm back again. So let's see what happens. Oh, I don't know. Luke Maxwell's just going to clear Williams, I think, there. And Van Olst is going to... Oh, Van Olst does look like he's hit a pole.
Get through.
Yeah, he's struggling to get through, but he has got a nasty little indent on the front of that Clio. It does look like he's gone and hit something, but Maxwell trying to move his way forward. Clasper now battling away with Sam Van Olst. Williams still hanging on to that second place. He has lost that position to Mr. Williams. No, Mr. Williams had lost that position to Luke Maxwell, but now he's got Ludovic Jure coming at him as well. Not a good idea to punt an admin, Ludovic, so be a little bit careful here, sir.
Yeah, we'll see what happens between these guys as we've got around about 14 minutes left to go here in this race, and we can see here Jure looking to make him move ahead of Williams, and further back we can see Clasper there looking to try and get ahead of Sam Van Olst for P5 as they all head their way down to the next corner, and we'll see when Jure can bite the bullet and get his way through. You can see that gap now between Maxwell and Williams is just over 0.8 of a second. That gap will reach a second very shortly, and now Jure looking to go up the inside possibly. Not there, you'll have to go through it in the next corner, won't you, up the inside?
Yeah, we will have it here as well. Parfitt and Anfield are running side by side, coming into the final corner, and they're still running at it. Parfitt does manage to hold on. Anfield just can't quite get through. Ludovic Jure running side by side with Mr. Williams does make it through. Now Rob's got John McHutchison coming at him here. So McHutchison, the Scotsman, is not going to want to mess around. He immediately makes his intention known, looks at the inside of Rob Williams, turns around and says, I'm coming. The door is open. I'm on my way. I need to get past Jure. And McHutchison does go through there.
Yeah, brilliant move there from John McHutchison. Now up into third, looking for another podium here in tonight's race. Of course, the second in the first race, looking to now take a third, or maybe even a second here in the second race, as we can see Rob Williams looking yet again to stick on the back of these two. Goes deep, goes very, very deep in towards turn number 6, and that was close to contact. DaCosta locks up as well. I think he might have been a bit caught off guard. Clasper as well got a little bit wider now. DaCosta is looking to try and get in here on the back of Williams and Clasper.
Yeah. It was weird actually, because Williams went off and then it almost looked like DaCosta almost followed him, and wanted to follow him off there as Anfield has had a moment. Oh, dearie me. They were side by side. Did he do that all? Or he's going to come across. Unfortunately, it looks like... No, Edwards back. Oh, no. Oh, got that all a little bit wrong there. Unfortunately for him. And I'm sure the stewards will be having a look at that.
Well, I'm sure they will indeed, and they'll be having a look at a lot more than that because there's been a lot going on in these past couple of races. As we can see, Williams on the rear of Klasper. More the fact he's defending here from Dylan Da Costa as they head their way in towards turn 1, and McCutcheon now about 4 tenths back from Juray, and Van Olst on the rear of McCutcheon as well, looking to try and make a move.
Van Olst is there, but Klasper's now alongside Mr. Williams. He's going to take the inside going into turn 2. Rob does unfortunately lose another position. And then Dylan Da Costa is also going to try and look and get him as well. How defensive is Rob going to be? Well, he's just going to finish and follow David Klasper. Start moving it over to the right-hand side. Show your intentions that you're going to cover off the inside, because Da Costa's going to try, if he can, to come through. More contact. They've got to be a little bit careful, these guys, haven't they? There's a couple that are driving a little bit more overzealous than they need to.
Yeah, contact after contact after contact between all these drivers, but it just shows they're keen on making their way through and getting all those positions. We can see, of course, Da Costa yet again on the rear of Williams, and McCutcheon very close now to the back of Ludovic Juray, so he's looking to make it a round line 1-2 here. Obviously with himself and Luke Maxwell, as Da Costa yet again close to the rear of Williams, looking to try and find a way through. Brilliant defence here from Rob Williams, and there's no way through here for Da Costa at all, is there?
No, it's literally, Rob's got the inside covered. You can see Van Olst and Maxwell running side by side further up as well. Now Da Costa's taking the inside line. Williams does give him room. What about Maxwell and Van Olst? Well, they've only just made room for each other as they've gone past the 10 minutes, coming over the line now. 11:14 on the clock. Luke Maxwell's got the run away by 2.4 seconds. Van Olst slots in behind McCutcheon here. And Sam Van Olst does slot in behind McCutcheon. McCutcheon wants to get on his bike. He wants to catch Juray. And I think that's the important thing for him. He just needs to make sure he can take points out of Sam Van Olst, and he can take points away from Dylan Da Costa, because in the championship, they're vital.
Yeah, definitely. These points are vital. Every single race, every single position matters in a championship fight, especially when we're just over halfway through the season. All points count, definitely more than they would have done at the start. As we can see yet again, moves looking to be made. Van Olst on the back of McCutcheon there, close to contact. McCutcheon on the back of Juray as well, as they head their way down into the next couple of corners now. And we can see a battle for P2, 3 and 4, and a battle for P5, 6 and 7. But I'm sure Da Costa won't. It won't be too long before he can try and get involved in that battle for 2nd, 3rd and 4th, because they are starting to become a little bit more slower and giving Maxwell a massive lead as they head their way through towards the next couple of corners.
Yeah, 30 minutes, 7 to go here, and they're still continuing to fight. Da Costa with Klasper, with Williams. Williams has held on, but he will, if he stays wherever he is, it will be practically back up front again for the next race. So technically, he's not really losing out on anything here, I don't think. And great job from him, of course. John McCutcheon still in the mix with Sam Van Olst and Ludovic Juray. He's trying to close down on Juray. There was a little bit of argy-bargy at the beginning. It's going to be a very interesting stewards report, I'm sure, as they're going to be closely looking at what has gone on throughout this race. And now they're still continually to go. John McCutcheon, he's trying to close that gap. He just can't quite get there.
No, he's closing in, but he will keep trying until the end of this race. Of course, we've still got another six-ish minutes to go, so about 3-4 laps left in this race, and I'm sure we'll still see some position changes here for 2nd, 3rd and 4th, because you can never predict what will happen. You can never predict who will end up where in a race like this, as they all head down in towards turn 6, as we can see Maxwell head his way in towards turn 6, and they're not even there yet, so he's got a brilliant lead out in front. Bit of a lock up there from Juray. McCutcheon nearly making contact there as they head through in towards the braking zone, and then on the exit you can see McCutcheon looking to try and just squeeze away through, looking to try and catch Juray off guard there, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He's making his presence known. That's the thing. Jure's under a whole heap of pressure at the moment. There's not a lot he is going to be able to do here. If John wants to go, he will go. So Jure's got to think, right, where do I go from here? Do I defend long and hard? Maxwell's, you can see McCutcheon trying to get the inside line. Unfortunately, just run a little bit deep. Coming into 11, but Ols was tucked up there currently. So these three providing the action going into the final 5 minutes. Maxwell's trying to escape. He is slowly escaping away as these guys are continuing to fight.
Yep, indeed. They're still going to fight hard and hard as they head out of the final corner, back down towards turn number 1. And we can see this time they're a little bit wide there from Hutchison, allows Van Ols to get a good run, but he can't make a move because he's got Jure right in front of him as they head yet again in towards the Nord curve at turn number 1. And a bit of a hop on the curb there from Jure. Looks a little bit squiggly for a moment, but actually McHutchison was the one there that must have made some sort of mistake, because look at the run that Van Ols has got here in towards turn 2.
Yeah, absolutely. Van Ols tucked up right behind McHutchison, not being able to make it through. He's better off kind of pushing McHutchison into Jure. It's a Ludovic Jure there can become a little bit more under pressure, because at the end of the day, they both want that second spot, but they're not going to get it if they continue to fight.
Yeah, definitely. It's gonna end badly, isn't it, for one of them if it keeps going like this? We can see Van Ols. It looks like that damage on the front has got worse, doesn't it? Or it could be a different factor if it's a different angle.
Yeah, it does. It's still the same. It still looks like he's hit a pole in the car park. So, yeah, there isn't any more reflective damage off the front of that Goldwing machine. And he is still got that there with Ludovic Jure in front. This is where the battle's going to come from now. Luke Maxwell's 16 minutes on the clock. They're going to come over. If he comes over close, we're going to get at least 3 laps here. Well, we just made it, what was it, 1, 2, was it? Well, 3, it was just about from last time at 17 minutes.
Indeed, and yeah, we're probably going to have about 3 laps now. I think we'll have 2 and then probably the last one, won't we, after that? I'm not very good at maths and counting up how many laps we got, because normally the races I commentate over normally have laps already, so I don't need to do the counting part. I'll just say we've got 10 laps left, that's it, go.
Yeah, time lapse are a different circumstance, because it depends on what the leader wants to do, is dependent on how fast he goes, depends on how many laps we get. So, yeah, it's going to be quite an interesting experience for these guys. They've got 3 minutes, so it's going to be, should be 1 and 1 more, depending on what Maxwell wants to do with it here. But Hutchison still trying to get a hold of Ludovic Jure. It looks like Edward may have been off the side of the circuit. That's allowed at one point Kevin Anfield to close right up on him, as Edward just gets that all a little bit wrong and goes off the side there. But I'm sure he's going to be in a little bit of trouble with the stewards on that one. The big puff of smoke from Sam Van Ols coming into what will be turn number 8 into Mercedes here now, and they're still going at it, and we've still only got about 2 laps remaining.
Indeed, and look at all this battling. That has allowed Dylan DaCosta to get himself back within a second of that train. He's now just 9/10 back as they head their way through in towards the next couple of corners. Turn number 10 at the Mobile 1 curve. They head their way in, and this is a battle for second. Of course, Maxwell has got a massive lead at the front. 2.8 seconds now separates him and Ludovic Jure. So looking to yet again get the max 50 points here from this race is Luke Maxwell, as they will head their way through in towards the last couple of corners on the circuit. To number 14 and 15, I believe this is now where Luke Maxwell is, so we'll have 1 and 1 more, won't it, James? Or will it be 2 and 1 more?
No, it should be this one and 1 more. It's going to be... Oh, no, it's the final lap. They have made the final lap, so it will be the final lap there from Barney. Again, it was going to be very close. It was like 5 seconds in the last race. Well, they've got the final lap this time around. So Dylan DaCosta trying to tag onto the back of Sam Van Ols, John McHutchison and Ludovic Jure as they're going around turn 2 for what will be the final race of race 2, or the final lap of race 2, I should say.
Of course, and with the high points that Maxwell has scored here today, he should be able to get himself up into 3rd in the championship, I think. So he's doing a very good job at the front there, looking to just try and get himself back into that championship. Fies, of course, missing 2 weeks back in, I believe it was Laguna Seca, of course, last week in Winton Raceway. So he's pretty much missed 6 races and still is within 200 points-ish of the leaders. That just shows how good he's been when he has been here, doesn't it?
Yeah, he has. He's been exceptional when he is here, and that's the thing with him. He is an incredible driver, absolutely amazing, and don't know where he gets the pace from, to be honest. Chris Barnes and Mr. Williams are fighting it out here for the two cracking racing boys. They're on the final lap of the race as well, and it still looks like Luke Maxwell's going to get the victory in race 2. I think Maxwell's going to take this one and is going to do an incredible job. Coming round the final couple of corners now, and it shall be the checkered flag, the win for Luke Maxwell in race number 2. Great job from him. He's going to come over the line. Barney's going to be waving his checkered flag. Luke Maxwell is your winner there for race number 2. Ludovic Jure does hold on. What about Sam Olsen, Dylan DaCosta? It was Finos, was about further back, and it is Mr. Williams ahead of Mr. Barnes. So there we go, as they goes make it through, and Edward will be on the front row again, as Kevin Anfield will be in pole position for race number 3. That's going to be interesting as well.
Indeed, as we can see there, Parfitt taking a bit of a different route after he crossed the line as they finish the race, and we'll see the live scores.
So here are the results on the board. It is Luke Maxwell in pole position, Ludovic Jure in second, John McCutcheon third, Sam Knowles, Dylan DaCosta and David Clasper round out the 4th, 5th and 6th, Williams, Barnes, Edward Parfitt and Kevin Anfield. All right, we've got a brief 5 minutes warm up, guys. That gives me and Nathan enough time to grab a drink, and as for normal, stay tuned because we'll be right back very shortly. Okay, guys, we are back. Just coming towards the end of the warm-up for 4 minutes 20 on the clock. The 5-minute warm-up. Nobody's really gone out. Nobody really wanted to. Now, if you're in a race, do you take a warm-up?
Well, it depends how pressurising the race is. If it's just a normal race and I'm just there for a bit of fun, no, I just kind of want to get into it. But if it's a race where there's something on the line, you want to sit there and you just want to think for a bit. Oh, what this race could mean, or what's going to happen, and also you got to think as well tactically what you've got to do, because for a fact in any race it's never simple, no matter how good you are.
Yeah, the problem is the reverse grid makes sure it's not simple. I think that's the thing. A reverse grid really throws it out, and it has done all the time. And I don't think it's, it doesn't make it easy for them to get through. So let's look at the grid here. Kevin Anfield is in first, Edward Parfitt second, Chris Barnes third, Rob Williams in fourth this time, Clasper in fifth. Now, Dylan DaCosta, Sam Van Alst, John McCutcheon, Ludovic Jure, Luke Maxwell. That's going to be an interesting one for them to come through on, I think, because I'd be interested to see how clean they can make that, considering what the guys that they've got in front of them.
Yeah, it's going to be a hard one once again, and the likes of Van Alst, McCutcheon, Jure, Maxwell, DaCosta all together at the bottom, in the bottom half, and yes, again, it's obviously Anfield, Parfitt, Barnes, Williams, and Clasper with the top five, just all in different orders. So we could see a repeater last time. We could see a heavy repeater last time. This time, the two cracking racing cars are together, so they can work together to keep them behind.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. They've got to try and work together, but people don't always work together.
Yeah.
Especially not in teams. But the lights are going to be coming on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Doesn't look like Chris Barnes is going to make this one for the final race of the evening. Kevin Anfield takes the whole shot there. Edward slots in behind him. Then Rob Williams in there as well. Clasper with Dylan DaCosta. He's got Sam Van Alst. Then we've got the likes of Maxwell, Jure, and John McCutcheon as these guys continue to fight. Dylan DaCosta going for a move on David Clasper early, coming into turn 2. Gets the job done. Does he? Runs it in a little bit deep. Clasper's going to come back and take the inside line, gets it through there, and Anfield still leading the way with Parfitt in second, Williams in third. And where have we seen Williams and Parfitt get together on the racetrack before?
Well, in the last two races they got together, so we'll see what they do this time around. As we can see, David Clasper now looking to also look to get ahead. DaCosta there comes to the contact, big jump on the curb there from Rob Williams. That definitely will hurt the car and also lose him some positions as they head their way down in towards the next left-hander as well. We can see at the back Van Alst, and that was Jure coming to contact. Maxwell as well, still behind him, Pinon looking to find his way through but can't find a way through just yet. And like we saw in the last few races, there's battles everywhere on the grid. Because that's a big cut into the wall.
That's Sam Van Alst in the wall. How did you end up there, dear sir? He's got the inside line over Ludovic Jure. Jure is there.
Ooh.
That looked like Van Alst moved over on that one as Dylan DaCosta's trying to take it free wide. Williams is there as well. McCutcheon gone round. John McCutcheon does go round. He then battles his way back, manages to hold it here as well. Williams and DaCosta still fighting it out. Anfield's on the fastest lap of the race, 1:45.211. So let's see what goes on here as well. Williams does go right. He just takes the off track, keeps his foot in, and goes at it again for once more. Now Dylan DaCosta's looking up the inside here. And Luke Maxwell goes in and too hot there. Dylan DaCosta survives another day, but Luke Maxwell went in a little bit too hot there, Nate. Didn't quite get it stopped.
Yeah, we did it. I think he also attacked the back of DaCosta as well as they went down in towards that corner. So definitely big shame for Maxwell to lose those positions, and now back down to 7th place. And Van Alst as well, all the way at the back. Of course, will just be looking to finish the race now after his contact earlier on, and that's contact there between Jure and Williams, won't it? There coming to contact. So Maxwell goes through and takes 2 positions. What happened here? So they both went a little bit deep, didn't they? Both of them, and also McCutcheon as well. 3 of them all went deep in towards turn 6 there.
Yeah, they all had their own little bits of a moment there, wouldn't it? And unfortunately, Luke Maxwell. Well, fortunately, Maxwell come out, survived. McHutchison is still in there. He's tucked up right behind Jure at the moment. I'm sure he's going to be wanting to try and get as far forward as he possibly can. Williams is in this mix. Not entirely sure if he wants to be, but he is. So I mean, you just got to suck it up and go with what you got around you.
Yeah, it's good to see what happens, I suppose, as we can see them yet again looking to go 3 wide in towards this next right-hander. And it'll be Williams defending, goes deep, close to contact, loses the positions, and there it will be Jure ahead of McHutchison just for now, but we'll see if these two can make a move in towards turn number 1. You can see they're moving to the right will be Jure, McHutchison now on the left, giving him, of course, the outside line into the corner. And, ooh, bit of contact as they head their way through, not ideal, and McHutchison, as a result of that, has gone very, very wide. Yeah,
unfortunately for John there, he's off the side of the circuit now coming into turn 2 and 3. Is he going to be able to recover? We've got Clasper with Da Costa. Clasper's got Parfitt in front of him. Da Costa's closing in. Anfield's running like a scolded cat in headlights at the moment here. And he's literally bolted away, hasn't he? As fast as he could, as quickly as he can.
Of course, and obviously Clasper there, again held up a little bit by Parfitt, allows Da Costa to close in. Bit of contact there for a second, or maybe a bit of a slide there from Clasper in towards turn 6. That allows Da Costa to gain in, and then behind we can see as well Luke Maxwell looking to gain back up to that train for 4th position, and then of course behind them Jure McHutchison still looking to get to battle.
Yeah, he is. He's trying to come into it here as well. Dylan Da Costa. He's got David Clasper. He's got Edward Parfitt there. McHutchison's back with Jure. Maxwell's in no man's land at the moment. He's kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place here, Nave, and doesn't really know where to go, does he? He's got to try and go forward, but he's got Jure 2 seconds back. That's what kind of the no man's land is here, I think, with him racing.
It is definitely, and you know, all these drivers as well, many of them in different situations to what they're normally in, so they've got to try and work through these situations, haven't they? As we can see there, obviously McHutchison now into P6, and we can see Da Costa on the rear of Clasper. Clasper realistically needs to get a move ahead of Parfitt soon, because we know he's quicker than him, as obviously that gap is coming down, and so we know that gap between them, Anfield and Parfitt's going up, and also the gap between Clasper and Parfitt just keep going down, but not done enough for Clasper to make a move into any of the corners.
Absolutely. Clasper's got to try and stick up as close as he possibly can. Parfitt goes on the defense. He takes that inside line straight away into turn 2. Clasper's going to try going round the outside, but did he go round the outside enough? That's what I'm a little bit worried about. We just can't see if we can catch it a little bit further back.
Oh, he turns in a little bit, doesn't he? But also a bit of net curve there, because they didn't actually touch, did they, at first? And
no.
then Da Costa also hits the back of Parfitt.
Yeah, there was a bit of net code involved in that one. So that will have to be taken into consideration as well. Dylan Da Costa there. Unfortunately for Edwards, still having those little bit of internet issues. Can't really do a lot about it. A lot of Jure, John McHutchison still fighting it out. Luke Maxwell is there. He's trying to close his way forward. And Luke, Edward, Dylan Da Costa and Kevin Anfield is literally gone now, Nave. He's literally run away.
Yes, and this is what he needs, isn't it? He would like a win, and he could get one here today if he can continue on pushing along. Of course, 2 podiums last week out in the Winton Raceway weekend, and now looking to try and get a win here at the Hockenheim ring as he heads his way through in towards the final couple of corners once more. And with about 13 minutes left to go in this race, it is still Kevin Anfield that leads, 3.7 seconds ahead of Dylan Da Costa, and then Edward Parfitt in third, under pressure now from Luke Maxwell, who's looking to get himself in onto the podium positions as they head their way down towards turn 1, and we can see yet again Jure and McHutchison as well, looking to battle out for P6 and P7. Maxwell goes a little bit wide, goes very wide. Clasper comes through as well to try and make a move, and then we can see possibly going 3 wide here into turn 2. Clasper nearly off the circuit. It's going to be Clasper up the inside. Can he get the move done? Into the inside line. He gets the move done ahead of Maxwell and Parfitt as well, looking to get involved. They go 3 wide once again, James.
Yeah, Edward just loses his nose to Luke Maxwell there. Maxwell with David Clasper still in the mixer, still fighting out. Da Costa's got 3.7 over Kevin Anfield at the moment. Anfield looks like he's on a different level here, absolutely flying. Clasper's looking at the inside of Maxwell. Parfitt's going to try and follow him through as well. The door's always going to close. Be a little bit careful as they go over to the left-hander through Mercedes. They go. Maxwell's still there. He's still fighting out, and he's managed to hold on, but he still hasn't got David Clasper just yet.
Yeah, he was trying hard, but just can't quite get it done. As now we can see Parfitt looking for a move yet again here on the back of Luke Maxwell as they head their way down in towards turn number 10. And then behind as well, Jure on the back of McHutchison, still there battling out for P6 constantly throughout this race. And Jure goes a little bit deep there onto the grass and has to look for the inside line, but can't quite make the move just yet for that position. But we can still see Clasper now leading in that little train for P4. As still Jure and McHutchison, they're going off the circuit.
Yes, have they gone off together though? That's the question. They did they did both go off. Yeah, one after the other. Ludovic Jure there. Kind of.
Ooh, bit of a tap, isn't it? He's pushing McHutchison through.
Yeah, I don't understand. I don't get that because he is literally physically pushing him.
Yeah, and there's nothing he can do to turn out of it, is there?
No, because he's being just pushed forward. I'm not entirely sure why that would be a thing, but. There you go. As Maxwell now does just about near enough. Is he going to get David Clasper here? He's not this time around. I thought he was going to have it done there.
The inside line, they're listening towards the next braking zone as they head down to the right-hander at turn 6. Clasper's got to defend it round the outside if he can, but it's going to be quite... Ooh, bit of contact there. I think Clasper turned in a little bit too much into the braking zone. Parfitt now comes through up the inside to the outside at turn number 8. He's looking to get a move done as well on the back of Clasper. Brilliant battling so far, and now it's brought Jure and McHutchison into this battle for P3. So a brilliant battle for the podium, but Maxwell should realistically here run away.
Yeah, he should, but is he going to? That's going to be the question. And now we've got Ludovic Jure, John McHutchison, Parfitt and Clasper still fighting out in the middle. Anfield's gaps up front is now 3.1 seconds. He's still got Dylan DaCosta closing in. It's going to be difficult to see whether or not DaCosta can close that gap. 1:39.25. He's closing 4 tenths at the moment per lap, so 4 tenths a lap for about 8 laps, and with 10 minutes left I'm not sure he's going to get that in.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, won't it, because there's a lot to gain here. Obviously for Maxwell's got 6 seconds now, and Clasper as well has got a lot to gain. He's also got McHutchison, who's also been very quick on pace. He will also want to try and make some positions up as well, so he's got a lot of work to do in such a short amount of time. Jure looks to kind of leave that battle a little bit, doesn't he, as they head into turn 2. He looks like he's kind of backed off a little bit to allow McHutchison and Parfitt to come together, and a bit of contact as McHutchison gets through along with Jure as well.
Yeah, Jure does get through over Edward there. So these guys still continue to fight it out. Edward's going to look at the inside. Is he going to hold the inside line there from Ludovic Jure? He doesn't get it this time, and that's a slot in behind him. So still some great action going into the final 10 minutes now as well. It's going to be a job done and dusted, I think, for Kevin Anfield. I'm not entirely sure Dylan DaCosta can just quite get there enough. I don't know if he's going to get there by the end if Kevin Anfield doesn't make any mistakes at all.
It's going to be a hard one though, isn't it? It's going to be full to the foot to the floor the whole time, just trying to gain and gain again and push like a quali lap every single lap here for Maxwell if he wants to bring that gap down. Obviously DaCosta, the gap hasn't really came down or got up between those two, between Kevin and DaCosta. So we'll see what happens between those guys. We'll see if that gap eventually does come down. Of course, if DaCosta comes under a bit of pressure from Maxwell, it could also pressure him to go a little bit quicker.
Yeah, I think the thing is as well, 1:39.7, 1:39.75, 1:39.67 from Anfield, 1:39.74 from DaCosta, well, 1:39.25. So again, 4 attempts, but I don't think he's going to have enough. I just cannot see that he's going to have enough time to close in on Kevin. I think Kevin's going to take this victory as long as he can just keep it on the race circuit. I think the battle's going to be here with Clasper, McHutchison and Jure, and see who comes out on top, as we've got Sam Van Olst all the way down the back end of the field, of course, now seeing a very broken machine. I don't think he's got, well, there is very broken.
Definitely, yeah. He's just tried to get himself to the end. A very, very smashed up Clio, and I think this time, James, he's hit more than a pole in a car park.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think that's Not an ideal scenario, let's put it that way. But John McCutcheon and Clasper. McCutcheon's going to go up the inside into Mercedes. Clasper's going to look for the run on the outside, leave each other room on the exit, because Ludovic Jure is going to try and be a part of this battle. He's got to pick a horse though, and he's picked John McCutcheon, pushing him along past David Clasper. Is he going to be able to hold on here? McCutcheon's round the outside, going into coming down into turn 11. The left-hander, Jure trying to go up the inside of Clasper's. Clasper's going to look for the run round the outside. Is he going to be able to hold on here? David Clasper round the outside again. They're still side by side. Clasper's going to have the inside for the final two corners. He can force Jure out wide there. There you go. That's one way of doing it. Hip check him out the way, Nathan. Tell him, hey, you ain't coming through, son.
Yeah, brilliant defence, isn't it? Indeed, brilliant defence. And Jure there flashing his headlights at Clasper as they heading towards turn number 1 once more. This battle now for 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th as they head their way through down into water breakers and at turn 2. And we'll see if any moves can be made, because Jure is getting in quite quickly on the back of Clasper, of course, with a bit of that slipstream down in towards the braking zone. No moves can be made, and Jure then nearly hit the back of Clasper and actually goes a bit deep in that and allows Parfitt to try and have a go at him as well.
Yeah, Parfitt's trying to fight there with Jure, not really being able to close in, unfortunately. Jure still managing to hold on. He's still trying to shut down Clasper. McCutcheon's still trying to go forward, but he's got cars all the way around him here. We have Rob Williams further back at the San Van Olsten now. Obviously, we lost Chris Barnes at the beginning of this race. Edward does look quick through that turn 5 and 6, but he just can't seem to close the gap up enough.
Yeah, indeed, and it's just the gap. The gaps come down, but you've got to try and make a move. And if you think, oh, I'm a little bit too far back, I'm not going to make it, you're never ever going to make the move, because you've always got to, in these cars, with this grid being so close, you've always got to make a send, haven't you? You've got to hope that the car in front is trusted enough to kind of leave you some space and allow for a battle. If you can't make a send, you're not going to ever make the move, because the grid is so close. There's only a couple of drivers here who I would say aren't really on the pace, and that is it.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. That's, as I said earlier at the top of the show, that's kind of why everything come into one championship, because they are so close. Clasper and Jure still fighting it out. McCutcheon's not really escaping. I thought John would be a little bit further up the road by now, but he's just not getting away.
He's not. He's got Clasper and Jure all behind him, and they're also looking to push forward. It shows they've also got some brilliant pace in their cars, so we'll see. We'll see what McCutcheon can do here. He's definitely not got enough time to catch up to Maxwell, and Maxwell still, I don't think, has got time to catch up to Anfield, but could get closer to Da Costa here for P2, because that gap has come down to now just under, just over a second and a half.
Yeah, Maxwell slowly eking the time away. 1:39.05 last time out, 1:39.4. Pulled up 4 tenths over Da Costa. If he can do that again over this lap, coming into the final, well, we think 3, because it's been jiggling between 3 and 4, depending on when they cross the line. It's possible that Maxwell could get close enough. He's got it down to 1.3 at the moment, so he is closing in here, Nave, and he's closing in at quite a rate of knots.
He is. We could definitely see a battle for P2 here in this race, as Maxwell brings that gap now just to nearly just under a second. 1.2 seconds now is the gap between second and third, and we can see Jure yet again on the back of Clasper. He's looking to get himself up into P5 here in this race, and we'll see what happens as they head their way down in towards the next braking zone. I believe down at turn number 11 now. They head their way in, and Maxwell, that gap staying where it is, and Da Costa now, he knows he's got, 3 laps max here, so he could also just push and keep that gap over a second between himself and Maxwell, because we know once you get a bit of that slipstream, you can really gain some time on the car ahead, as we can still see now McCutcheon is looking to actually gap now, Clasper, that gap there just over 8 tenths of a second there, so McCutcheon has kind of flew away for now and just needs to keep himself in the position he's in, and he will be in P4 at the end.
Yeah, Jure's there, still can't get past Clasper. He's just got nowhere to go. As Ludovic Jure, the gap now is down to, or it was a second, it's now 1.1 to Da Costa and Maxwell, coming down a little bit more. Maxwell last time out 39.09, Da Costa 39.68. So Maxwell pulling out 6 tenths, or 5.9 if you want to be precise, on Dylan Da Costa last time out alone.
Yeah, the gaps are really coming down, aren't they? As we can see, Jure now looking to make a move at the inside, back to the outside on Clasper at turn number 6, looking just to try and find a way through. He goes to the inside, brilliant there from Jure, bit of contact, Clasper on the outside still, looking to defend the position in towards the next corner. We can see Jure yet again swapping around, looking to the inside, close to contact, and just can't find the move. Brilliant here from Clasper so far.
Clasper's holding on continuously here, doing a great job as Ludovic Jure's just got nowhere to go, coming down into Mobile 1 curve now, turn 10 on the short track at Hockenheim, through into the left-hander of 11, slightly, ever so slightly banked, looking at that inside, going out of 11 now on the run through turn 12, the left-hander of 12, then we're going to go right at 13, through the right-hander again at 13, before we come through turn 14, which is about now into 15, the final corner, and now we go over the line. 1:34 on the clock remaining of time. Is Barney waving? He is waving again this time, and now Ludovic Jure has got one final lap to try and get this position away. Is he going to be able to get it done, and can he, most importantly though, get it done cleanly?
It's gonna be hard, isn't it? And Jure's just gonna send it now, hasn't he? And this is where Clasper's got to be careful. He's got to know not to defend too harsh, defend too much, otherwise it could end up with Jure going into the back of him or hitting into the side of him as well. As they head their way down now in towards the next corner, a bit of a slipstream here for Jure, but I don't think he's quite got the run, has he, towards this next right-hander here, James. As they head down, he's not quite got it yet, so unless he's going to make some sort of dummy send, has he, to try and catch Clasper off guard.
Yeah, and I can tell you one man who was also catching very, very quickly is Mr. Maxwell. He has just pulled in about 2.2 over Dylan DaCosta and it's done an absolutely stellar job. That's the lap times. You can see DaCosta's in the red all the way through. He has not got the pace over these last 5 laps to even hang with Maxwell. Maxwell's coming round into turn 11. There's not going to be many opportunities left here. I think it is going to be Kevin Anfield is going to take the win here, but who's going to get this second place? Maxwell's not going to give it up. He's going to continue to fight all the way through and is still going at it here as well. Kevin Anfield is going to take that victory here over for the win here this evening. He does take the victory. What goes on behind it is Dylan DaCosta just managing to hold on, and for that second and third, then we've got Ludovic Jure, David Clasper comes over the line there as well. But yeah, DaCosta, one more lap, he would have been done.
Yeah, he was close, wasn't it? Very, very close indeed. Brilliant battling once again, James. And today we've seen it. Well, we haven't seen the cleanest battling, but these drivers have really put on a show, haven't they? Out of race 1, 2, and race 3.
Yeah, absolutely. They've done a stellar job. Even good old Sam Van Ols, who stayed in all the way through, even though he had literally half a Clio on in the race there at one point. Let's bring you up the results here as well. Is Kevin Anfield does take that victory in race number 3. Stellar job by 2.1 seconds over Dylan DaCosta, who just scrapes over in front of Luke Maxwell. John McCutcheon in 4th, David Clasper 5th, Edward Parfitt 6th, Rob Williams, Sam Van Ols, Ludovic Jure and Chris Barnes round out the final grid of 10 here as well. And I think for me, that's been some of the best racing we've seen. Incredible.
It has. Yeah, and it shows that these Clios can deliver. It shows that the racing can be brilliant. And you've got to remember as well, even though the grid's quite close, not everyone in those battles are all on the same pace. Some of them were definitely quicker than the others. So to see them all be able to battle so well and make moves just shows these cars can have some really good racing, and on the right layout, on the right track, we could probably even see better than this, I think.
Yeah, I think so as well. They've done an absolute stellar job. We've got a young man waiting here for a chat with us. That is one Mr. Luke Maxwell. He has joined me in the booth. Luke, welcome in, buddy. How are you?
Yeah, all right, thanks. Yeah, a bit rusty. A couple of weeks out, but yeah, all good.
Hey, that's not too bad. 3 podiums, 3 third places by what I've got.
Third, first, third, I think.
Yes, third. Sorry, I read McCutcheon. But still 3 podiums for you. That's not bad at all, is it?
That's pretty decent, isn't it? Yeah. I was quite. Not a massive fan of the track. Took me a little while to get grips with it. I kind of messed up the start in race 1, but that obviously put me in a decent position for race 2, and a bit lucky with Dylan and John coming together. So yeah, I'll take it.
I tell you what, though, one more lap, you would have had Dylan in that race 3. You were closing
Yeah.
at a rate of knots.
I didn't know if he had a bit of damage, but I certainly looked to be closing in on him. But unfortunately, I got a bit stuck behind. Was it Edward and David? Wasn't it? I think having a battle. So took a little while, and then by that time I was a couple of seconds back. So obviously Dylan's quick, so it's going to be tough to catch him.
Yeah, it definitely is. But you've done an absolute insane job, of course, as well. Next week we go to Circuit de Lebanon. Ever driven there, Luke?
Never heard of it. Looking forward to it. What's it like?
It's actually it's actually a really good racetrack. And you can get great racing there. So, I'm expecting...
Quite a wide... I do like the wider tracks, I must admit, but...
It's more Magny Core wide.
Oh, okay. Oh, not too bad then. So,
yeah.
We'll give it a bash. Yeah, I'm definitely around for the finish now, so should be good.
Well, let's see how far up you can get there, Luke, as well. Stellar job for you there, sir. Anyone you want to shout out before I let you go?
Going to give a shout out to Team Radline, I think, for did a good job in the Radicals last night, and obviously racing with John tonight. So, good luck, boys.
Awesome stuff. Well, thank you very much for that one, Luke. And we'll see what you can do. I'll probably catch you Thursday, actually.
Yes, yeah, should make it this time. Yeah.
All right, mate. Take care.
Cheers. Bye.
And next up in the booth is one Mr. John McHutchinson. Second place in race 1, third in race 2, and a fourth in race 3. Let's see how he thinks his evening's gone. John, welcome in, bud. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, James. Those are unofficial times, by the way.
Yes, that's pending stewards.
There'll be a few penalties, I would think.
Yes, pending steward penalties. I do agree. There could be a few coming there.
Chaotic.
Yeah. Do you know the thing is, right? I was really worried when we come in and we were such a short grid. I was thinking if they all spread out around it, not a lot's going on. But you guys never did. The racing in race 2 and race 1 was absolutely epic. Race 3 got a little bit scrappy, but is that not what we're here for?
Exactly. I enjoyed it. It was great fun. You can race these cars door to door, no problem. There's no issue there. Did you see myself and David almost half a lap side by side? Just give each other room, respect, and you can do it. But sadly, it seems to lack with a few drivers in this series. So.
I won't ask no more on that one, John.
I'll let the stewards do their job.
Yes, let the stewards do the talking. Oh, John, off to Lebanon next week. Have you ever heard of Circuit de Lebanon?
No.
Okay, no, mate, don't worry. Luke's not heard of it either. It's a free one within iRacing. Yeah, it's actually really good. I like it. There's been some great racing when I have been there with other cars, so I think you guys will enjoy it. I think you'll love it.
It's got to be better than Wincanton. That was terrible. Didn't like that last week.
Did you not? Unfortunately, I missed that one.
You didn't miss much. The 3 corners the exact same. I was bored after race 1. So, well, I'll give this new track a try and see how it is.
Well, try it. It's very interesting, and I'm sure you'll be all right. It's been good racing for you, John. Go out and do a little bit of practice. I know you love practice.
Oh, is it fast and flowed or is it tight and twisty?
It's not too bad. I think when I've been there with other cars, it's been okay, and I think going forward, you guys will love it. I'm just trying to bring up the track map when I can learn how to spell at the moment, unfortunately. Right, Circuit de Lebanon. So there we go. Do you know Magny Core?
Aye, a little.
Yeah, it's Magny Core-esque in some of its layout.
Okay.
But it's like a camel with 3 humps. So you go down and start, you go over one, round a corner, over another one, and then round a corner and over another one. I reckon you'll enjoy it, lot.
Cool. I look forward to it then.
All right, John. Well, look forward to seeing you next week as well. Anyone you want to shout out before we let go?
Shout out to Luke on his racing tonight. Guy's a legend. So fast.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He was so close to getting Dylan at the end there. Just missed out. But anyway, John, thanks so much for joining me, Bird. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and I look forward to seeing you next Thursday.
This Thursday. Thanks, James.
Oh, yeah, this Thursday. Sorry, John. Take care. Bye-bye.
Cheers, mate.
Oh, dearie me. So there you go, Nave. Another evening done. Some great racing coming up. And, we've got, as we say, off the circuit to Lebanon next week. I don't know if you've ever been there before.
Well, I raced there once in the, what was it now? I think it was the Mazda. Didn't enjoy it at all. I do not like the circuit. It does not flow well. It could also be the fact I was in a Mazda. But yeah, well, it'll be interesting at least. Well, actually, I find it fun because I don't have to drive it. I can just sit there and watch. So I can watch all the drivers, stuff for the pain because I don't like the circuit at all personally. But we'll see, I suppose. We've still got next week to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't forget, guys, stay tuned this week as we've got the UK Sim Races tomorrow night from the Imola Motor Layout as well. That'll be with Alex Goldsmith and Mr. Dean Biggles. And then we've got the JPB NASCAR Super Series Trucks Round 1 kicking off from Kansas. If we have a full grid, it'll be 33 cars, 33 trucks out on the race circuit. Then we've got the Almost Pro Championship Round 8 there at the Dutch Grand Prix with Mr. Zach Sweeney. Then we've got Ben Samsford and Dara Thacker doing the PRL Prospect Racing E-Racing League as well. They're at Belgium. And then rounded off Tuesday is myself and Kenton Sportek, as always, doing the BSC Season 10 Spring Season Round 12. Also from Kansas, and then the week just goes on and we got more and more. So stay tuned for the 5 broadcasts that are going out tomorrow. But for now, guys, it's going to bring this one to an end. I've been James Parfitt. I've been alongside Nathan Richards here this evening. And as always, take care. Have a great week. And you never know, we might see you on a track sometime. Good night.